But with Bron's doing everything. That's why you look
Everything.
up after a game, it's like he got 31, 9, and 10. Like he did everything. You know what I'm saying? So that was my favorite player from when he first got to the league.
This summer, Adam Silver would officially announce the NBA's first ever inaugural in-season tournament, which would be known as the NBA Cup. This tournament would involve all 30 teams fighting for a chance for its players to hold up that NBA Cup trophy, while also winning cash prizes in the process, with the biggest cash prize coming at the end of the tournament in the form of $500,000. While $500,000 might not seem like a lot for an NBA player, $500,000 is still $500,000. Just ask LeBron James, who has already managed to become a billionaire, if that money is valuable to him. So while this tournament would be controversial and nothing like the NBA has ever seen before, it also wouldn't be the first time that Adam Silver has implemented a drastic change that has sparked criticism. Does anybody remember how much hate that the play-in tournament initially got and how it's now viewed as a wide success, with it accomplishing its initial goal of giving us more exciting basketball towards the end of the season, with teams feeling like they need to stay engaged to avoid the tournament altogether? I mean, there was all of that complaining, and then in the first play-in tournament, we literally got an iconic Curry versus LeBron matchup. Even if it wasn't how we might have wanted it, we weren't getting this ridiculous shot any other way. Now I can't lie, I used to be one of those kids too stuck in their ways, only ordering chicken nuggets when I went out to eat. But as I got older and started trying out new things, I started to learn that everything isn't all bad and that change can be exciting and good. What I'm trying to say is that I feel like too many people badmouth this tournament before they even gave it a chance. When this tournament was announced, everybody felt some type of way about it, just like they did with the play-in tournament. I know it's very early to be saying this, but I think that it's safe to say that the in-season tournament has been a success so far. Never in a million years would I have thought that I'd be watching playoff LeBron in December and seeing him pop champagne after a December victory. So while the Lakers looked unstoppable en route to winning the first ever NBA Cup, somehow they would look like a completely different team following it, going 1-5 in their next 6 games. And this skid would only fuel talks that the Los Angeles Lakers need to make yet another massive trade. And well, let's just say that we have some huge updates on that front. But first, today's content is brought to you guys by PrizePicks. If you have no idea what PrizePicks is, then you're in luck. PrizePicks is a real-life, real-money daily fantasy sports game made super simple. With PrizePicks, all you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players and then decide if they will have more or less than their PrizePicks projection. There's no catch at all. PrizePicks really is that simple, as it's just you against the projections. If you don't believe me, just take a look at some of these entries that I'm putting in right now. So on top of PrizePicks being incredibly easy to use, another reason that I love it is because it brings a ton of excitement to my viewing experience. PrizePicks can have a Detroit Pistons game feeling like the NBA playoffs, which shout out to my guy Cade, who has been looking really good. You guys are going to turn it around soon. Guys, to get in on the action, download the PrizePicks app today and use code COOP to get your first deposit matched for up to $100. Thank you PrizePicks for coming through and sponsoring today's content. The difference that a year could make never ceases to amaze me. Early last season, most Lakers fans were worrying about what players like Miles Turner or Buddy Hield could potentially provide for a roster that seemed borderline hopeless, which really was impressive considering that this team had both LeBron James and Anthony Davis. This season, instead of wondering how Buddy Hield and Miles Turner would look on their team, the Lakers would be dominating those same players en route to winning the NBA's first ever in-season tournament. Which it's worth noting that this domination would have never been possible if the Lakers didn't drastically change their roster ahead of last season's trade deadline. As I said earlier, change can be good, and the changes that the Lakers made last season had them playing in last year's Western Conference Finals, which really isn't too bad when you think about it. If there's one thing that this Lakers team has shown over the years, it's that this team isn't afraid to drastically shake up their roster, and don't look now, but this team might be on the verge of doing it again in search of any form of consistency. Now, before I really get into talking about any potential roster moves that this team might make, let me know right now in the comments below if I'm crazy for thinking that this Lakers team currently has the talent on their roster that is needed to compete. I don't think that this roster is bad at all, and if nothing else, the in-season tournament showed us that this team definitely has another level to go to. Personally, I think this team's inconsistency goes beyond its roster, and that head coach Darvin Ham should definitely be looking himself in the mirror, because some of the stuff that I've seen from this team is inexcusable. Now, this isn't me saying that the team that's taking the third least threes per game couldn't use more shooting, rebounding, or a backup big. It's more so me saying that some of these lineup changes and lineups altogether from Darvin Ham just don't make any sense. Rui Hachimura himself will tell you how hard it is to get into a rhythm when you have no idea what your role is going to look like coming into that night. Nobody on this planet will be able to convince me that the Los Angeles Lakers should be out here losing games to a team that was 3-20 coming into their game. To make matters worse, the Spurs almost beat them a few days prior to the game that I'm referencing, only going on to lose by 3 points. There really are no good excuses for the LA Lakers at this point in time. Mind you that at the time that I'm making this content, that Anthony Davis is currently in the top 5 in minutes played. For all of the criticism that Anthony Davis gets, he's really doing a lot better than you would think. This man has been going off this season. Meanwhile, LeBron keeps cooking also, and his minutes just keep going up. When it was said that the plan coming into this season was to limit his heavy minute games altogether. Guys, LeBron James is almost 40. What the Los Angeles Lakers are asking of this man to just be competitive this season is absurd. And LeBron James knows this, and that's why he said this about the Lakers' current situation. I don't think we're where we want to be able to compete against the top teams. With Pelinka admitting that he checks in with Bron and Anthony Davis, what do you think that this man is going to do if he feels that either of these players feel like they need more help? What's ironic is that you have Bron saying things like this, and then you have Reeves saying that we can beat any team that steps on the floor, and if you don't have that outlook, then what are we doing? Sure, Reeves said this because he has elite confidence, but let's be real. He also knows that there's a chance that he might be on the move if something big were to go down. So while I've made it clear that I think that this team has the talent to be better than it is, it's clear that whatever they've been doing isn't working, and perhaps that's why this team has been eyeing a big potential change. We've heard a lot about a potential Zach LaVine move, but at least according to Basketball Talk, a Zach LaVine trade to the Lakers is looking unlikely. So this is just my opinion, but personally, I still wouldn't rule out a potential Zach LaVine move to Los Angeles, especially if the Lakers continue to be a roller coaster. His price continues to fall, and the Bulls and Kobe White continue to look good when he doesn't play. Like Jovan Buha said, it's not exactly like the Chicago Bulls have a whole lot of leverage in this situation. If you were the Los Angeles Lakers, what would you be willing to give up for Zach LaVine, who has been battling injury, and would you be willing to make a move for him at all? Jovan Buha can't see the Lakers giving up much more than a combination of D'Angelo Russell, who they recently benched, salary filler, a young prospect, and a protected pick for Zach LaVine, which really isn't much at all when you consider what Zach LaVine could potentially bring to a team like the Los Angeles Lakers. It blows my mind that we are currently living in a world where Alex Caruso might fetch more than Zach LaVine on the trade market. So here's another question for you guys. Would you be more willing to give up what I just mentioned for a Zach LaVine, who this season has averaged 21 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 3.4 assists per game? Or would you prefer to give up a bit more for a player with two-way potential like DeJounte Murray, who this season has averaged 20.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.3 assists, while surprisingly shooting better than Zach LaVine from deep, shooting 37.4% from 3 this season, while LaVine has shot 33.6%. Now, we all know that Zach LaVine is a much better shooter, shooting the deep ball at 38.2% for his career, but that shooting percentage is an interesting note nonetheless. Anyways, the reason that I'm asking you guys what player that you would potentially prefer for this Lakers team is because according to Shams, Atlanta Hawks guard DeJounte Murray is in fact a potential star that the Los Angeles Lakers might be in the market for, which does give me mixed feelings. On one hand, DeJounte Murray is a stat sheet stuffer on a good contract who hasn't played up to their full potential next to Trae Young. On the other hand, the Hawks did give up quite a bit to get him, meaning that he may not come cheap. As Shams noted, if the Lakers were really to go after DeJounte Murray, the Hawks and any team that the Lakers are going to try to trade with would most definitely be trying to get back Austin Reeves and additional assets. Which, if I'm the Lakers, I'm probably not trading Austin Reeves unless it's for like a top 30 player. That is saying nothing else other than how much that I truly value Austin Reeves. So apparently the Lakers could have some competition for Murray if they were to go that route. But there's a catch. It's initially believed that Murray's agent Rich Paul would be reluctant to do business with the Knicks, which is in part because Leon Rose was a top agent at CAA before he took over for the Knicks. With that being said, reportedly this is a situation that is fluid and has the potential to change if a sit-down meeting that might happen soon were to occur. So mind you that this DeJounte to the Knicks news did come out before the team would announce that they'd be trading for OG Anunoby, but at the same time, something tells me that this team isn't going to be done making moves just yet. If there's one thing that has become abundantly clear to me, it's that this New York Knicks team wants to win and they want to win now. Guys, be on the lookout for a breakdown of this Anunoby trade as it's going to be coming to my channel very soon. Now, the last thing that I want to bring up this video is this quick Woj report that said that the Lakers are prioritizing speed and athleticism. You know, I was hoping that they were prioritizing shooting and basketball IQ, but that's just kind of where we are with this team. When I saw this report, the first thing that I thought to myself was that Jackson Hayes is already on your roster. I don't really think you need more players with that archetype. In all seriousness, guys, let me know what you think of everything down in the comments below. Is Austin Reeves untouchable for you? How much more interesting does adding a player like Clint Capella to a potential Murray package make things for you? Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.